Hello and welcome to this week's MotorZen news. My name is Paul Callan. In this week's show, shortage of windscreens, Renault disassembly plant, Callan transport, BMW fuel cell, Dayco wet belt, Liebherr cranes and Galway plant hire. We've been listening to reasons as to why European car manufacturers are having problems with supply various components that they haven't been able to get. Well, there's a new component now that's suggesting they're going to have a problem with supply on, and that's glass. Windscreens and glass for vehicles could possibly be in short supply this winter, mainly due to gas and the rationing of gas or the shortage of gas supply. Gas is used. A large amounts of gas gets used in the production of glass, and the concern is that there will be rationing of gas this winter. The issue is that gas manufacturing equipment is designed to work in continuous heat, not to be switched off or switched on. It takes a long time to cool down, takes a long time to heat up again when you go to restart it. So they're concerned that if there's an interruption on the gas supply, the normal flow of the production of glass and windscreens is going to be affected. So they're trying to produce stocks of windscreens now to cope with this situation. But another supply issue coming down the line, no pun intended. Circular economy. We're hearing this terminology all the time now, circular economy. Renault Trucks has announced a disassembly plant. Yeah, not an assembly plant, a disassembly plant. They're using three words. They're using regeneration, they're using repurposing, and they're using recycling. These are the three topics, the three areas that components from used or old Renault trucks are going. They say a Renault truck should do 1.5 million miles, and they're saying at the end of that, it's likely that that vehicle can go back to the Renault disassembly plant and have the various components broken up and sent into the recycling, regenerating or repurposing. Now, for example, the chassis rail of the truck will simply go a short distance to a foundry that's near this plant in France. But other components may well go on the shelf as usable used parts and go back through the Renault truck dealer network across Europe, across the world, and be used again. So really interesting to see that the manufacturers, due to this circular economy, are finding that they have a role now in used components and used parts and effectively being a breaker. Staying with trucks, Callan Transport, a big operator in Monaghan and Armagh, was founded back in 1973 by Barry Hughes. Well, they've just sold out to Dixon's. So Dixon's, who were acquired by an investment company a short while ago. This is the first acquisition they've taken place with them. So this is a sign of what's happening. Dixon's get bought out by an investment company, and then that investment company that owns Dixon's are buying other truck companies. So Callan Transport, which was always be regarded as a big operator, has now been bought by a bigger operator. So it's kind of the big buying the big, the bigger buying the big, and they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's an interesting development in the truck side of things. BMW will produce iX5s in a production facility that will be sent around the world into dealerships as tests and demonstration. Full hydrogen fuel cell vehicles that will be going into dealerships, that will be available for people to test them or demonstrate them or use them on the road. Remembering that this is a collaboration with Toyota. It's been going on since 2013. So the fuel cell technology, some of the fuel cell technology that BMW are using is in collaboration with Toyota, and vice versa. Toyota are collaborating back. But these two big players are working on fuel cells. So, you know, everyone says that it's electric, but it looks to be really that there's a combination of electric and hydrogen fuel cell will ultimately be where the future is. Yeah, you've made it to the middle bit again. Thanks very much, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and please, if you could, give us a like, hit that like button for us. Thanks for that. Dayco have issued a tech bulletin on the wet belt that's used on the 1.2 litre PureTech Peugeot PSA engines. These are starting to give trouble or starting to show up as creating contamination in the oil or breaking. They're saying that these belts need to be checked every 12,500 miles to 16,000 miles or every 12 months. There is a simple way of checking them. They've got a tool that measures the width of the belt through the oil filler. You can put the tool down. If the belt has exceeded the width, that tells you that the belt has expanded and it needs to be replaced. So there is literally a checking mechanism. This is your checking mechanism. If it fails this check, replace the belt. They're also saying that oil contamination can create a problem with the belt. Usually what they're finding is that the wrong oil used with these belts is causing the belt to go prematurely, and it's also causing fibers of the belt to come off, and those fibers of the belt is then getting mixed up in the oil gallery. So they're saying a check to do with these is to check for debris in the vacuum pump strainer and also check on the turbo banjo feed. If you've got debris there, you've got to clean out the whole oil system on these as well. So you may have a belt that's still active and still working, but you may have bits of that belt that's gone through the oil system. So there's kind of a procedure here to prolong the life of these engines and a maintenance program for life of these engines. No harm having this conversation with anybody that's got one of these, because it could save them a lot of money and it generates a nice bit of work for the workshop as well. The largest object ever engineered in Ireland is 3 cranes that were produced by Liebherr down in Killarney. These are the largest objects that have ever been produced in Ireland. They were transported by road from Killarney to Cork Port, and there was a special ship came into Cork Port last week to transport these cranes. 6,000 ton of crane had to be loaded onto that special ship in Cork Port, and then that ship departed for New York. 10 days across the Atlantic with the biggest ever engineered items in Ireland. So an interesting feat there achieved by Liebherr in Killarney. Briggs Equipment has acquired Galway Plant and Tool Hire, GPT. You'll see GPT on lots of machinery on roadworks and civil works all over Ireland. They've got 8 sites and they employ 90 people. They were started in 1969 by the Hughes family. Briggs is a UK company that came into Ireland in the last couple of years. They acquired Irish lift trucks from the OHM group, and the Irish lift trucks were the agents or the importers for Hyster. And Briggs are a big name in Hyster in the UK, but now they've bought Galway Plant and Tool. One of the big reasons behind buying Galway Plant and Tool is Galway Plant and Tool are very heavily involved in commercial vehicle hire, and Briggs are saying this is an area they wanted to get into, and they're getting a big foothold in that area in Ireland through Galway Plant and Tool Hire. The Hughes family were the owners of Griffin Motors in Claremorris and Castlebar. That's not part of the deal. They still own that business as well, but a big acquisition there by Briggs. That's it for another week, and please, if you could, like, comment and subscribe, and please hit that like button. See you next week. Thanks for that.